Tom Waits is the first time I ever broke my rule, though. I got a rule about I only make music with friends. I only do stuff with people I know. Now, Tom Waits, still to this day, I've never met him. I met him over the phone. When I know his kid, though. We've been friends for like 6-7 years. You know what I mean? And so finally, I turned to him and was like, you know, have we known each other long enough for me to ask if you could hook me up with your dad without you feeling like I used you? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Keeping it real.
And he's like, oh, yeah, it's all good. You know, and I'm like, cool. Can you give him, you know, I want to send him a song to see what he thinks. Because I felt like the song that we had made reminded me of kind of like, if he rapped, these are the kind of joints he would make. You know what I mean? And so I was just like, I wonder what he would think of it. First and foremost, that's always how I am. I want your opinion on the song before I ask you to do anything. You know, they hit me back and they're like, hey, we like the song. Him and his wife is, you know, and I was just like, okay.
It's crazy.
I like that. Now, would you be interested in doing anything? And they're like, well, what do you want us to do? I'm like, well, let's talk. And so he calls me up on the phone. And, you know, prior to that, I'd been communicating through his son and his wife. So he calls me. It's the first time I've ever talked to dude. They set a time. I'm sitting in a hotel. We're on tour. I'm sitting in a hotel, and he's like, and it's his voice, and I'm like, yo, this is really dude. You know what I mean? Like, okay, here we go. You know, and he's like, what do you want? You know, and I explain what I'm thinking. It takes about 2 minutes to explain what I'm looking for. Then for the next 35 minutes, he basically interviews me about how I feel about the new Kanye West record, because this was right like a week after Kanye's joint dropped, right? I'm like, whoa, you listen to that? And he's like, yeah, I checked it out. And he starts breaking down what he thinks about it. And I'm just kind of like, this is ill. Like, this is the last conversation I thought I would ever have with Tom Waits.
Right.
It was pretty fresh because actually some of the things he said about Kanye's record made me re-listen to the Kanye record and go, you know what? I never even heard that. This dude just basically taught me how to listen to rap again. I was like,
crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Sometimes
It
takes
was
fresh years. Man.
Nah, yeah, it was really fresh. And
Wow.
by the way, I love that Kanye record now. You know what I mean? Like, it was like I liked
Yeah.
it when it came out, but now I'm like, nah, that shit's the shit. So yeah, he was gonna sing on the chorus. He's like, you know, send it to me on a 4-track tape. And I'm like, whoa, that's how
Damn.
we get down. Me and Ant do everything on 4-track at first. You know, we demo everything out like that. So I'm like, no problem. So I sent it to him on a 4-track. I get home from tour. There's a FedEx envelope there waiting for me from them. I'm like, whoa, crack it open, take it, run into the basement, throw it in the 4-track, hit play. I'm listening. Fast forward straight to the chorus. I want to hear how he rocked the chorus because I had a chorus on there that I sung, that I wrote. I wanted him to just do it so that I could erase my part and just have him doing it. You know, and that way I'm not leaning on him to write nothing. You can just sing the
Right,
chorus.
you're not
you know?
asking too much.
Yeah, exactly. I get to the chorus and he ain't singing. And I'm like, oh, let me check the other track. He ain't singing on that track either. The last track, I'm checking it. He ain't singing there, but I'm hearing these noises. So I'm like, okay, start over. I go back. I listen to one track. He's playing a guitar. And I'm like, well, that's what's up, I guess. You know, let me listen. I'm like, you know, the song already had a lot of guitars in it. I don't know if I could really use this, but thanks, you know. Is there something on this? I listen to the other track. Like he's playing a shaker. I'm like, I could play a shaker, you know. But I'm like, well, okay. I mean, I'm still like, you know, whatever. It's him, so I'm not mad, you know.
Yeah.
So I listen to the third track, and I'm like, is he beatboxing? So I turn it up, and he's beatboxing over the whole damn song. And I'm like, you know what? This kind of works. It's kind of fly. And I know if I mix it right, yeah, okay, here we go. So that's what we ended up going with, was Tom Waits beatboxing on the record. You know, it's not what I asked for, but you can't, it's not like I can return it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what? I'll
Yeah.
take it. And not only that, but it was an exchange. We made a deal, you know. You do this for me, and then I owe you a favor. And so I'm looking forward to the day that Tom Waits sends me a song for me to rhyme on, and I get it to my house, and I play oboe all over it, and send that shit back to
didgeridoo or
him.
something.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, man. I mean, I'm a huge Tom Waits fan,
Yeah,
man.
he is.
And
Very much.
I think the reason, and this is no bullshit, I think the reason I was your music caught me at first was because some of like the descriptions that you have in your songs, bar scenes, people who are down and out at times, stuff like that. It reminded me of Tom, like how, you know, and not like you're biting or anything.
I
Like,
mean, I bit.
well,
I ain't gonna lie.
okay, maybe you did,
Yeah.
but that's what drew me to it at first, man. And so when I heard you were gonna have Tom Waits on this album, I was just like, oh,
yeah, he was
shit.
He was going crazy. You know who's gonna be on the new Atmosphere record?
I mean, and it wasn't like an intentional bite. It's just you get influenced by what you take in.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And
Sure.
so it's kind of like, you know, I would say probably 1989 through 94. Like, my life was KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, Tom Waits, John Fonte, and Charles Bukowski. And I think anybody can look back at my first couple of records and figure out how all four of those are stuck inside of my records. You know what I mean? It's like all 5 of them, whatever. You know.